What's up, guys? I'm Uncorrupt, and I'm bringing to you my deck of the week this week. It's actually going to be none other than Lady Prestor Aggro Druid. I'm going to jump into the list here. We're going to talk about a couple of things with this list. It's not something that I've seen a whole lot of. I actually had somebody play it against me on the ladder. I thought it was a pretty interesting concept, so I started doing some research, trying to find out exactly what cards were in the deck and what the best approach is to be able to build this deck. So this is the list that I've been playing right here. Probably still needs to be refined. There's not a whole lot of data out there on this kind of an archetype. I believe it was born because people started playing Lady Prestor in Aggro Druid, which is, of course, this card right here. And some people swear by it. I know I've seen at least one person on Twitter saying that that at least the Druid version of Lady Prestor Aggro is really, really good. And then I saw somebody try it in Demon Hunter, so I wanted to try it myself. And this is the list that I was able to piece together from a couple of different locations, and then I made some changes to it myself. So just taking a quick look at the list, it's a pretty low curve list. There's a lot of lower cost minions in here, so it's going to play just like any other aggro deck, where you're building a board early and then hoping to be able to possibly take favorable trades, but doing damage face. So primary win condition of the deck is probably actually just with aggro, building a board and going face. It is able to fight against other aggro decks. That's the good thing about it. You know, we do have some ways to be able to clear other minions. We've got the weapon, of course, the hero power, and then we can fight with our board itself. Battle Ward Vanguard, obviously, creating some extra tokens. It's going to be really good fighting for the board against these other aggro decks. The deck should also be good against Druid. Druid tends to struggle against aggro, and if our aggro plan runs out of steam, if the Druid plays, say, like Scale of Onyxia, we're not totally dead in the water because of Lady Prestor. So this card, transform minions in your deck into random dragons. Note this does only change the minions in your deck into dragons. You still have your spells, so we would still have access to Skull of Gul'dan. The hero card Kurtrus, this is not a minion or a spell, so this would still be available in our deck. And then we would still have, like, say, Chaos Strike, Illidari Studies, really any spell that's in the deck. Also important to keep in mind, Mancrick's Wife is also going to be a spell, so it's not a minion that's going to be transformed in your deck when you play Lady Prestor. So you play Lady Prestor, and then, you know, your Battle Fiend that's still in your deck turns into a 1/2 random dragon. And we don't really care about the stats as far as the 1/2 or, you know, a 4/5 if it's Lore Keeper Pokelt here. But what we do care about is the text on the dragons, because the text on the dragons ends up being really, really strong. So, you know, some of the things that we can create from the Lady Prestor Druid might be something like, say, Kazakazan, which is going to give us an additional firepower to really be able to finish out the game. It can give us Raid Boss Onyxia. It could give us Brasswing. And so there's lots of really, really good dragons that have strong text that doesn't really matter what the stats on the card are. There's the prototype, or Proto Drake dragon, that's going to leave us a 7-drop. You know, even if it's a 1/2 with a death rattle that gives us a 7-drop, that could potentially be really strong. I've got a game rolling in the background here of a game that I played with this deck just to kind of showcase how it plays. I'm going to leave that running as I continue to talk about the deck. But there's really just so many good things that can come out of Lady Prestor. And one of the kind of overpowered combos that you can get out of it is it can roll your minions into other class-specific dragons. And specifically, I'm thinking about the Caldera Drake. You're going to see it a little bit later on in this game that I've got running right now. But Caldera Drake is a mage dragon. You can use your hero power an infinite number of times in a turn. And if you combine that with the Fellfire Deadeye, you can actually use your hero power as many times as you can click that button before the turn timer runs out. Now, I don't know if there's some kind of a hidden cap. I know some cards have had hidden cap or previously unrevealed cap. I think in this game that you're going to see here towards the end, I'm actually able to use my hero power 32 times, and didn't try to go any higher than that. But typically, if you can get that combo down, you just kill your opponent, assuming they don't have a taunt in the way, or assuming that you can clear that taunt. Again, I don't know if there's a hidden cap, if it's capped at 40, if it's capped at 50, or if it actually is just uncapped. But it allows you to just do a tremendous, tremendous hit with your hero. course, keeping in mind, if Kurtrus has already been played, our hero power is actually going to be 2 damage instead of 1, which allows us to get that attack significantly higher. So it is random. There's nothing guaranteed when you get the dragons off of Lady Prestor. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a Coldera dragon in your deck, and then of course there's no guarantee that you're actually going to be able to draw it if it is in there. But I've seen it multiple times. It's led me to the conclusion, with a very, very small sample size, of course, keep that in mind, but it's led me to the conclusion that it's not something that's going to be ultra rare. I've had it happen to me. When I actually first saw the deck, my opponent played Coldera Drake 2 different times and was able to do some attack damage. I actually didn't die because I was playing Control Warrior, had enough health to be able to take the shots, and they did not have a Fellfire Deadeye. If they do have the Deadeye, doesn't matter if I have 50 health as a warrior. I'm just dead as soon as they play that combo. So it was done to me. 2 Drakes actually came out of that, and then I've done it to other people a few times myself. So it's just something that's like almost like an unstoppable combo, because you don't see a whole lot of taunt in the current meta. So it's really a way that you can be able to beat control decks, in addition to the other dragons that you could get off Lady Prestor. Again, as I've already mentioned, Ray Boss and Nixia can potentially be really strong. Even if the main dragon of Nixia is, say, a 1-2 or a 3-4, you still get all the whelps. You can generate Alexstrasza, you can generate Ysera, and just a lot of different ways to be able to win the game with those dragons, because so many of the dragons that are in Hearthstone actually just have really, really strong text. And this deck can allow us to be able to utilize that. And then, of course, as soon as you play Prestor, your opponent's game plan doesn't necessarily go out the window, but they have no idea what to play around now. They have no idea what dragons you've hit. Of course, we don't have any idea either, but typically it seemed to work out pretty well. Again, if you hit something like a Brasswing, you can play that against an aggro deck. That Brasswing is going to be doing its AoE damage. It's going to be potentially healing you. It just tends to work out really good. And then, of course, if you can hit Kazakhstan, again, who cares if Kazakhstan is a 2-1 or a 1-2? What you care about is the treasures and being able to put those treasures into your deck. So Lady Prestor has certainly been fun. I don't know if it's a good deck. Time will tell. If we can get enough data. If not enough people play, there's not going to be enough data. And then at that point, it's just up really to individuals to go out and test it and see what they think of it. I've enjoyed it. I do hope we get more data to find out whether or not this is actually a good deck. Whether or not it's good, it actually really is just fun. Absolutely a fun deck. So I don't know that you necessarily want to risk your ladder ranks on it. If rank is something that you're really interested in and you're kind of guardian of that, and you don't want to lose ranks trying something new, then maybe you don't want to try it. But you could take it out for a spin in casual or against your friends just to see what you think. Definitely going to have a good time with this deck. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Checking in on our game over here. As you can see, I was able to get the Lady Prestor down, and now I'm just getting random dragons. So 10th Thrasher there, able to make a trade. Again, 2-1, but it does have rush. It's cheap. It does something. And then you can also see Sleepy Dragon there. Just gives me a taunt, being able to put something in the way. Druid opponent here, he actually high rolls this just a little bit because he has the taunt. So you can see in my hand already the Fellfire Deadeye and the Coldera Drake. I have the combo loaded up, ready to go. And my opponent just has taunts on top of taunts. So Ironbark, I believe, was run in his deck naturally, so no surprise there. But of course, Solar Cenarian Ward, giving him the big 8/8 taunt that also makes my spells cost 2 more. Extremely unfortunate there. So really, I'm just looking to trade here, and I'm thinking if I can ever get this taunt out of the way, then I'm going to be able to kill them with a 4-mana combo here, Fellfire Deadeye and Coldera Drake. So that's kind of what I was thinking as I was playing this game. I really want to be able to clear those minions out of the way and be able to get the big shot face. And fortunately, since this is a game that I've already played, I can tell you there is going to be good news coming. So our opponent here is just trying to clean up the board and getting rid of the Ace Hunter there, and just trying to make sure that we can't really do anything to him. So fortunately, I'm going to be able to find a way to be able to get rid of this taunt that's in the way. Taintheart Tormentor super strong, so I believe it involves, and again, a random dragon here, the Hala. Just being able to get the random spell damage here. I think I might have high rolled just a little bit. It didn't really matter. I could produce 3 damage from hand here to be able to kill that. Be able to kill the Taintheart Tormentor. And again, just throwing out 1-2. Not an especially powerful dragon there, so you can see sometimes the dragons are going to low roll. and not be all that great. That's a 1/2. It's just a straight 1/2 for 1 mana. Again, not great, but it does put a body on the board. There is going to be some variance with the dragons that are created by Lady Prestor here. Then you can see our opponent's probably feeling really good. They get the raid boss down. They have a nice big board, but they are actually dead on 32 health. And one thing that you can notice here is the hero power is actually usable really quickly. I mean, I didn't time it, but it felt like about a half second. So based on the length of the turn timer, if you can get a hero power every half second, depending on if it's 1 damage or 2, if Kurtrus has already been played, you can actually run up an insane hero attack here. And we're going to see that I actually get to this 32 damage. The rope doesn't start burning. I'm not almost out of time. I could have gone significantly higher. I wanted to make sure that I actually got in the hit before my opponent conceded. But you can see here, 32 damage with that nice little combo. Again, no guarantee that it's going to be created with Lady Prestor, but certainly fun, and I think it's an archetype worth exploring here. So, give it a try. I'm enjoying it. I think you might enjoy it too. Really hoping to get more data. That is the deck highlight of the week from me, Lady Prestor, Aggro, Demon Hunter, Druid. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Also consider liking the video. Small investment for you, just a couple of clicks, couple of taps on your mobile device, but means the world to me. Thank you, and good luck out on the ladder.